Greetings, ladies and gentlemen of the freaking internet. Tis I, the Fat Viking Knight, as always, coming back for another episode, Sunday afternoon, 3 p.m., as always. And typically, we do a therapy session, and I'd like to tell you that today is gonna be different, but nope. It is another therapy session for me because I just enjoy freaking doing it. That is really the reason, and I feel it's a good way to air out my frustrations, my grievances with the world, and my happies, my sads, my downs, my ups. You know what it is. So today was presented a little bit with my own mortality, but not in the conventional sense. I was not prompted by a near death experience, nor was anyone of my family prompted with a near death experience, nor friends, nor was there any kind of accident. Just to preface this, no, I was presented with an existential crisis of my mortality, not morality. That's intact. So what it is I have always been a dreamer. And I've kind of known that I've always been a dreamer. I am very, very good at starting things. I am fucking horrendous at finishing anything. But I'm a dreamer. I have these crazy, complex, convoluted thoughts, ideas, you name it, I have probably thought about it at least to some degree and have probably made a plan about it. I've written about it. I've jotted down some notes about it. It's on a whiteboard somewhere. It's in one of my 20 note folders, either on my iPad, my phone, Microsoft, the email, my notes apps, a piece of scribble paper, a notepad, you name it. I have probably used it and have ideas for most of the things, and it's kind of crazy. But I've never really thought of myself as a dreamer, and I think that is the initial problem that prompted my existential mortality crisis here. I have never thought of myself as a dreamer, someone that looks on the brighter side and has ambitions and desires for the future, but has a very difficult time following through with them. I've never really thought about it. Well, the other day, it came crashing down in a very, very difficult manner as I was brought back to my own senses and realized, oh shit, I am in fact a dreamer. And it's not like a little bit, like I'm a full-on dreamer, and I never thought about it this way. One of my dear friends told me this the other day, said that I was a dreamer. And at first I kind of was like, oh yeah, played it off like, because they could just be joking around with you, or they're, just pushing your buttons a little bit, right? But when pressed, I was presented with factual evidence of things that I do that make me a dreamer. How I'll just have these vivid dreams, I guess, for lack of a better word, these vivid pictures in my head of everything that I want to accomplish, and then get so bogged down because I have so many ideas going on at one time that it's so hard for me to do anything about it. Like, no problem starting it. I have started 1,000 projects. I will probably start 1,000 more, whether it's in Minecraft, whether it's a goal for League of Legends, a goal for Path of Exile that I'm playing, a goal for my career, a goal for my life, a goal for traveling, whatever it is. I have started it. I've started a million different things, and I will continue to start it because that's just how my brain works. And that is a fucking blessing and a curse both at the same fucking time. Now, you may ask, why is that a blessing? Well, for a lot of people, the act of starting something is the most difficult part for them, right? For me, that is not the case. Just pick it up, start it, and have no problems with it. However, when we are doing it like this, when we're thinking about it, that is also potentially awful. Because I get so frustrated with myself. Because I cannot seem to finish anything. Literally, I've talked about this before. I've finished maybe one project in Minecraft and very, very few projects in life. And it's becoming a problem. It's becoming cumbersome. And I genuinely don't know how to resolve that. People always talk about like, oh, starting it is the hardest step. No, starting it is fucking easy. I have all the energy, I have all the excitement, I am energized, and I am ready to go, happy to start a new project. However, when it gets to the midpoint, it becomes a freaking grind. And a lack of discipline on my part definitely plays a part into this whole dreamer scenario here. It definitely does. I am not saying that it doesn't, and I am fully admitting that it does, in fact, do that. It's rough. Starting things so easy. How on earth do you finish things? And I kind of realized my friends that I hang out with are also freaking dreamers. And that's even worse, because when a dreamer is friends with another dreamer, guess what? We are motivating each other to dream on, to dream harder, and to continue to start more and more projects. You need someone who is a doer to be friends with, and that is someone that can push you to achieve those dreams. Without the act of the doer, though, it is very hard to stay on course. It's very hard to stay motivated, and it's very hard to pick it up and continue the grind. Even though you know you will love the outcome in the end, it is so damn difficult to try and force yourself to do that. You need a doer. You need more people in your life that are actual doers, because there are dreamers and there are doers. And I don't really think that you can be both, and I think you kind of need both to coexist. Because if you don't, it's going to be a lot more difficult, and you have to have that discipline. Yes, anyone can achieve discipline, but it's called discipline for a freaking reason, right? It's not something that you can just be like, oh, I won't have sugar, right? That's one thing that I've been very disciplined with. It's great. I've been doing sugar-free for quite some time now, and no added sugar for quite some time, and it's very, very nice. I have had the discipline to do that purely because I see my body every day, and I was upset with how I was getting, how much weight I was putting on. I was getting upset with that. And so I decided to make a change. But here's the thing. I made a change based off of real life observations of myself. If I had more body positivity about myself, I probably would not have had the same discipline. Am I where I want to be? No, of course not. Why am I not? Because I don't work out every day. I work out like once every 2 weeks, basically. And so I understand why I have slowed down, why I've hit a plateau. But I've at least had that discipline to do the first part, even if I haven't do the second part. And here is where the project is. So in my head, I was like, I need to change my body because I don't like the way that it feels or that it looks. I don't like constantly being bogged down by all these sugar products, right? Great first step. That is amazing. That is a hard and difficult task for a lot of people. That part, not so difficult at all. It sucked in the first week, giving up all of my brownies and access to everything else that I was eating on a daily basis. It really sucked because I probably went from, if I had to guess, I would say 50 to 75 grams of sugar a day. And that's probably on the low side because a single muffin is like 35 or 50, depending on the muffin. So that's probably on the low side. But going from that to zero took a lot of discipline. It took a dream to get me started. To keep me going, I have no idea what's possessed me other than I still want to feel good. And if I fuck that up, I will no longer feel as good as I do. And that is why I've continued. But I can't do that with every project. And that is the frustrating and annoying part about being a dreamer. I can't force myself in the same mindset. It kind of comes and it goes, and I have to figure out what that mindset is to begin with. And then based on that, I have to make judgments and decisions so that I can continue on the goal if I actually want to. I have to have that level of discipline, and that is excruciatingly very difficult. Discipline is not something you can pick up, put it down, and be like, oh yeah, we're just going to do that tomorrow. I'll quit smoking tomorrow. I'll quit drinking tomorrow. All of these things that we tell ourselves as part of the excuses. Well, I've read a lot of books recently, and one in particular, produced by a Navy SEAL, Jocko Willink, said, you are responsible for everything that you do. You need to have extreme ownership. And that fucking stuck with me. I didn't want it to. I went in with open arms and open intentions and open mind in relevance to it. And it kind of stuck with me. And so now I've been trying to do that. I am trying to take ownership of everything that I do. And this is just one of those many steps. I realize now, like fully realize that I am a dreamer. Fully realize that I have major difficulties finishing things. And if it's not right there in front of me where I can see each and every day, it is even more so difficult to achieve whatever I am setting out to do. It's fucking hard. It's hard being a dreamer. It's hard being a doer. Because I feel the doers just kind of go through life, and you can correct me on this if I'm wrong, obviously. I feel like doers go through life and they just kind of do the task, right? They don't really have crazy dreams that coincide with it. They just know that there is a task to do and they do it. They may not like to do it. They may not want to do it. They realize the importance of doing it, though, and are very task-oriented. Me, myself, and I, not so freaking much. It's so hard. It is so fucking hard. And I just keep trying and throwing everything in the kitchen sink at it and hope that something will stick. Something needs to click in my brain or it will not change. And that's basically everything I've ever done in my entire life. If I don't want to do something, guess what? I am as stubborn as a mule, and I most likely am not going to do that thing if I don't want to do that thing. And that's the real kicker. It ties into discipline very, very quickly. Yes, I don't want to do the thing, but I need to start realizing that although I don't want to do the thing, and it may be 20 minutes of agonizing torture for me, I know that I will feel better after doing the thing. But I am, like, wasting time because I have so many different things that I want to do that I just end up doing none of them. And that is the biggest fucking problem. I get home from work and I'm tired and I'm like, oh, I have all of these ideas that I want to do. I take out the dogs, I make some food, all of the things that you got to do in normal everyday routines, right? But then there is a few hours in the day where I have some time to do things that I want to do. Not too much time, usually 2 to 3 hours on the max, and then I need to start getting ready for bed for the next day. However, usually what happens is, I just want to decompress, right? So I'll start playing some video games. I'll play a little Minecraft. I'll play some Path of Exile. I'll play whatever the game in question is. I might watch some TV, a YouTube video. I'll put on a movie. I'll take a nap. Anything to not focus on the tasks that I want to do. And it's a fucking problem. It really, really, truly is a fucking problem. I just do this. I just focus so hard on not doing it that if I spent half as much effort on actually just sitting there and doing the thing, I know I'd feel a hell of a lot better about the situation that I was in. And I'd probably feel a hell of a lot better about myself in general just because I did it. And that's kind of crazy. That's kind of mind blowing and very difficult to argue with, especially when I know that it is 100% accurate. It is 100% my fault. The reason that I can't do this. And I'm not cosmically blaming the universe. I can't. Because it's literally all on me. I lack the discipline. I lack the innate ability to just do it. And I can't even say ability because I just lack the desire to do it so much that I just don't do it. And then later that night, I bitch about it. Not to really anyone, but to myself. Why didn't you do the thing? You knew that you wanted to do this thing. You were thinking about this thing. You were dreaming about this thing all day while you were at work. You came home and guess what? You didn't do the thing. What's wrong with you? And these are the thoughts that kind of project in my head. And it's exhausting. It truly is. Especially now that I am more self-aware that I am in fact a dreamer. Maybe I can change things to make it better. I don't know. I do know that I have to be a little bit more anal retentive in regards to how I do things. And I also need to let myself in on the why. I need to tell myself why I'm doing this, why it's important, why the discipline is needed, or it will never come to fruition. And I need to fucking realize this. I need to understand this, and I need to drill this into my head so deep that it is just ingrained in everything that I do. Can a dreamer become a doer? I don't know. I genuinely don't know if it is a possibility. I don't know if it can just wake up one day and something clicks in my brain, and it probably won't. But I wonder if there's a way to kind of switch the two onsets to making a happy medium, right? I'm not saying I want to become a full doer because I love the dreaming. I do. I just dream a little too much. And without the doer mentality behind it, the dreams are just that. They're just dreams. They are not realities. They are subconscious thoughts that I've thought about for eons and things that I just fail to do myself. Discipline that I fail to adhere to. And just a sense of longing that I just don't have. I truly wonder if there is a split between the two. If there is a happy medium that you can indulge in and still be able to dream some dreams, but also still be able to achieve some of those dreams. I'm not even asking for all of those dreams. I want to achieve some of them. That is my freaking goal. And it's going to be a long and arduous road. And I need you guys to rally behind me and push me harder to do the things that I need to do. Need your help. It's a call to action, and I would appreciate it greatly. But that's going to do it for me today. So thanks so much for watching. See you next time. Ciao.